Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of What You Call It podcast. I'm your host, GB. I'm definitely not re-recording this intro. Wink, wink. Do apologise. Obviously, my guest is very, very patient and very kind. Please give it up for today's guest, the gifted man with the gifted hands. Please give it up for Philadelphia's finest, Isaiah Frazier. How you doing today, mate? Not that I've asked you already.
Yeah, I'm all good, man. It's all good. Technology is it's a hell of a thing, so
I know.
I'm all good.
Appreciate it, mate. Appreciate it, mate. You recently wrestled Silas Young. We may or may not discussed that before. I just want to ask, how was that experience for you? Because that was I can imagine that being quite a big match for you in your career.
Man, it was a big match for me. 'Cause, I mean, when I first kind of got into the wrestling business, like they would tell me watch film and everything. So Silas was one of the guys I started watching, and a lot of like New Japan stuff and ROH stuff I started watching. So he was one of the guys that I would start watching and I would pick up on things. And then once I got to wrestle him, that whole experience itself was crazy. So I was like, man, I get to wrestle the last real man for a title that I don't even, in an area that I don't live in, or I've never wrestled in. Sign me up. So it was a good learning experience. It was very fun experience for sure.
Yeah, no, that's good, man. That's good. Like, I love his style. Just it is like, as he says, the last man in professional wrestling, like that old school rugged style. But he makes it work in the modern wrestling as well. So for you to have that experience and to wrestle him and to learn from him as well, I can imagine that being a great experience, which is awesome, mate. So I want to ask, that I may have asked, to find out when you began your wrestling journey, to find out when you actually got into wrestling in the first place. How did you become a fan, mate?
So when I became a fan, it was because of my grandfather. I walked in one day. I was like, I can't remember, but I remember walking into his house. And then he would get so mad at me because I would walk in front of the TV all the time. It's like wrestling time. Do not walk in front of the TV. Do on the phone something at you. One time I did, like he threw something at me. Of course, it caught my attention. I was like, oh shoot, wrestling's on. So I just stopped, sat down in the middle of the floor, started watching it. And then just fell in love with it. I was like 2015. So I graduated high school in 2013. So 2015 was when I kind of like started getting into it. I started going to Richmond, and then I started going down to Southern Maryland. Crab wrestling, GXW wrestling is where I kind of got my start at. Sanjay Dutt, Jason Berry, and Brandon Greenwood kind of had a hand in training me and getting me where I am today. But that man, I owe a lot of that to my grandfather and my family.
I will break down some of what you said as well. I just want to know, who were some of your favourites growing up when you were watching it with your granddad that you kind of hooked and for yourself gravitated towards when you were on the screen?
So honestly, I've always been a fan of like The Rock and Jericho.
Yeah.
Back in those times, because those two on the mic going back and forth all the time, man, I would tell you.
Gold.
Booker T was always my favorite. Stone Cold. Believe it or not, I always loved Vince. Like, I will always love Vince. He's just that perfect boss and that perfect heel boss.
Yeah,
so,
you just want to smack,
It's like the one boss is like, that's the one guy. Like,
Not that I'm saying about my manager who does watch some of these videos for. Love you.
So then, but then as I started getting older and I really started getting into wrestling, they would say, don't just watch the Attitude Era. You got to watch it all. So I started getting into it. I started like, man, Randy Savage, Ricky Steamboat, Steve Austin before he was Stone Cold Steve Austin. So it was like
some of it stuff. Like,
there's a lot of guys.
Stunning Steve Austin, like
Steve Austin,
with Steamboat were phenomenal, brilliant match. They just clicked, them two.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you. Once I started watching them, I'm like, oh man, there's so much more wrestling. There's so many more styles to learn. I'm like, I'm right. You got me. Take my money.
I think people forget like how technically good Austin was, like in terms of his bumping, his selling. Like, I know he became a bit more kicky and punchy, but a lot of that's due to his neck injury. But if you go back, like his stuff with Brett, Steamboat, even like Dustin Rhodes, like he's very technical. He could just trade off and brilliant stuff, man.
Especially in the WCW days, him and the Hollywood Blondes.
Oh, Pillman, yeah.
And I'm telling, I watch a lot of other stuff, like a lot of some of my like ideas and like my attitude I get from it. It's like I try and pick pieces off of certain guys and I try to make it my own. So
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, shame to pull the plug on them, but just before we get into your training and your first match, and ultimately your Western career as it is now, still in the early days as well. Just want to do the quick Macho Man impression. We did do it before recording, but now we're re-recording. Just gonna say the most gifted man with the gifted hands. Yeah, Philadelphia's finest. Yeah, Macho
yeah,
Man. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Isaiah
yeah,
Frazier did a pretty good one as well. Don't get me wrong. If you want to go, if you want to let the audience know how you do it.
shoot, I'll do that. I'll do that. Oh yeah, it's the Macho Me, Philadelphia. Cream rises to the top.
Love it. Love Philadelphia, by the way. I know we're kind of skipping a little bit on the training. Philadelphia. I love the name. I mean, how did you come up with it?
I mean, honestly, I was just piddling around one day, and
Hmm.
then I would, I was trying to figure out a new name instead of like gifted man with a gifted hand. 'Cause a lot of people use just that word gifted in
Yeah.
their moniker and or somewhere in their persona. So I was like, man, let me switch it up. I can still use gifted, but I mean, I won't use it as much. So, well, try a different name for Philadelphia.
Mm.
Philadelphia, I love the city. I love that state. I have a family in Philly, so it's just I don't know what it was about Philly that drew me to Philly, but I've loved it. And I just started. I was like, well, I try to kill everything I do when I go out there, and I try to make sure I put on the best thing. So I was
Hmm.
like, Killer Philadelphia. I was like, Philadelphia's finest.
Rhymes.
All right.
It's cool though. I like it. I like it. Kind of sort of stuck for me. I was just like, "Do you know what I'm going to ask?" But I'm glad you kind of explained to me because it was in the back of my mind. So I'm glad that we got that one here. I didn't ask that one before we recording, but we did mention about your school, the training, Sanjay Dutt School, and other trainers. I want to ask, what were some of the biggest challenges that you found at the wrestling school, like in terms of the bumping, that just doing it over and over and over, even like promos and just enduring yourself with this pain.
Yeah, it was mainly just the physical aspect of it and the promo aspect of it. I was I've always had a speech impediment. I've always stuttered, so I never really talked in front of people. So that was kind of a challenge. But now that I've kind of gotten a little older, I
Hmm.
kind of like know my pacing and I know like when I'm about to stutter, I kind of just like slow my words down a little bit. And then as far as the physical aspect of it, like I played sports in high school, so that wasn't too bad. But it was just
Mm.
getting used to falling without putting my hands up. Like getting used to, especially from higher heights, like especially standing on that top rope, that looks a lot higher than what a lot of people think.
Hello there. I've got a special announcement for my next guest.
Hi, my name's Nutty T, James Briley, and I'm on the What Do You Call It podcast. It's nice!
Yeah, I heard.
Breaking that habit of like putting my hands down and preparing myself, like, all right, you're gonna hit this mat and it's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
So those were two of the biggest things for me, honestly.
Yeah. No, that's cool, man. That's cool. And when is it that you made your official debut in wrestling? Was it 2016?
I want to say yeah, it was 2016. So I trained for like a year, 4 months or something like that, and then
Still here?
yeah.
So what was that, mate? Sorry, I think it went. That was my fault that time. So
So
what's that? Yeah. Oh, yeah. So when did you make
it,
your debut? That was it. So
it was April of like 2016, and then my official like first match I had, it was like a month or so right after that. I had a tag match. It was for GXW, and so after that, I just went on for the ride after that.
nice, mate. Nice. And how do you think that you did in your debut? Did you have any friends or family there as well?
Yeah, my mother was there, and a lot of like some of the guys that I started with were there too for that. So it was pretty cool to see all of us in there. It's like when I first got into wrestling, of course, like some wrestlers probably did, they started in the backyard. So once I made that transition from that to this, I was like, oh man, this is pretty awesome. Doing it with my boys, my mom's in the crowd. So I'm like, all right, this isn't too bad at all. I can't be mad at this.
Nice, nice, mate. No, that's good. Like, a lot of people do actually have their families there, friends there. I mean, when you did tell your friends and family that you wanted to become pro wrestler, what was their initial reaction to that?
Mainly loved wrestling. A lot of their parents watched it, and then just like my grandmother, her father watched it. So they all were supportive of it, but they were like, make sure you have a backup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I can understand that.
I haven't thought of that yet, so let's hope for the best.
Nah, I get you, man. I get you. What would you say have been some of your career highlights so far in your career that you've been doing it for the last 5, 6 years now?
I would say wrestling Silas Young, wrestling Nick Aldis for the NWA title, and I was like 3 or 4 years in at the time. Then just being able to travel, doing different things, and seeing different cities. Because originally I was going to be in the military. I was going to travel and do all that stuff. But
Oh wow.
once I got into this, I was like, I can travel and not be yelled at all the time. Oh, sign me up.
That's fair, man. That's fair. Nick Aldis, I know you have mentioned him. I've actually had him on the show in the early days of What You Call It podcast. He was actually the champ at the time when you wrestled him, the NWA National Wrestling Alliance World Heavyweight Champion, a fellow Brit. So I want to ask that experience itself, because I mean that's quite early in your career. The NWA title. I mean, if you think who's named it, some of the people that you probably grew up watching as well, or gone back to watch. You know, Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair, Kurt Angle, legends. But you're wrestling for that title. Before you went into the match, I mean, how nervous were you?
Oh, I was shaking like a stripper. I tell you what, I was literally telling everybody that day. I was like, y'all don't realize how nervous I am. I like this is. They were like, well, that's good. It means you're in the right area. This is what you need. If you weren't nervous, there'd be a problem.
Yeah.
So I was nervous, but then once I got out there and I started going, man, it was like riding a bike.
And how was Nick with you after the match? Was he a gentleman?
Oh man, he was a gentleman. And I had did a seminar of his way before.
Oh,
And once
really?
I told him that, he was like, really? Yeah, it was in Richmond. It was him and Sanjay teaching us. It was at GXW's. They had their own little training facility.
Yeah.
So they came down. They were teaching all of us and everything. So then once I told him that, and he was like, "Oh, really?" So I kind of had a little bit of a hand in helping you get where you are now. And so, hey, he was cool. Like, and he was real cool dude to talk to. I picked his brain a little bit, so it was cool.
That's cool, man. That's cool. Yeah, no, it was good. A good guest to have on. I was a bit nervous. I didn't realize if it was going to be like full on, but absolutely fine. True gentleman. That's why I wanted to use that term, gentleman. But I'm glad to hear your experience was good, and hopefully you can wrestle them again. Have you got any plans to come to the UK? By the way, just 'cause I want to ask, because I'm a fellow Brit.
Man, I want to get overseas. I just gotta find somebody that'll have me over there.
I will.
Trying to.
What I'll do is when this comes out, I'll share and I'll tag a few promoters if I can, and just spread the word for you, man. I think that's why it's good to do these interviews as well. Not necessarily just in America. Obviously, this is in the UK. Some of my audience as well. I don't want to make any guarantees, but I'll see what I can do.
Right. Shoot. That's all I need.
But no, that's cool, man. That's cool. This is the popular question I ask now. I think a lot of guests like this when they do listen to this the show, they kind of get a bit excited now. So 3 guests that you can pick for your dream party. It can be dead, alive, fictional, non-fictional, whoever you want. It could be a childhood sweetheart, doesn't matter. But anyone. So 3 people, you want to pick their brain. It can even be wrestling related, because we've been talking about wrestling for the last 15, 20 minutes. But anyone, you're the host, go. If you can give a reason to it as well, that'd be awesome.
Well, my first one would be Triple H.
Nice. Did not expect that one.
A second one, I'd probably have to say, it's probably going to be a nerd answer, but I'd probably have Goku or Vegeta on there. one of those two. Because I mean, I've been watching Dragon Ball here a lot recently, and I'm just like,
I knew it was, but I'm more of a Transformers man. But that's fair. That's fair, man. Mate, we're all nerds.
yes,
we're all nerds.
Optimus, Starscream,
mate. You see that title there?
Yeah,
Decepticon, man.
Decepticons. Yeah, all right, man. And I'll probably have to say Johnny Saint, probably my last one.
Nice.
Definitely Johnny Saint.
So we've got Dragon Ball Z character.
I watched a lot of his stuff.
Johnny Saint and Triple H. I did not expect that one. But that's why I love this question. Every answer is different. And I feel like a bit brings out who you are as well, like, for the answer. What would you serve him, by the way? What would you serve him?
What would I serve? Oh, man. Shoot, honestly, I'd probably just have a beer and some pizza, honestly, and just sit around. And just listen.
That sounds like a good Friday, man. That actually sounds quite chill. Just
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
I'm
a very laid back dude.
I
like going out and partying, but it's like I need to be with people. But if I'm just sitting around, just talking and trying to learn something, then nah. Let me get a few pizzas and a couple beers, and let's all sit down and just talk.
Yeah, man. No, I like that. You are quite laid back, and I love that, man. Like, just even when I'm messaging and stuff, you are quite laid back. It's nice, though. It's nice. You got like quite a nice approach about you as well. But I've seen your bad side in the rings, so you're not easily fooled. I've seen that, when you're ripping the hometown. But see, it's not just all smiles, not all just a boyish charm you've got, mate. Don't worry. If you could pick one match that you can go back in time for, attend that match live, what match? Let me try it again. What match would you pick?
I'd probably have to say, I had to say Steamboat and Savage. I have to go back and watch that.
Don't blame you. 90,000, WrestleMania 3, changed wrestling for what we know, pretty much evolved it into what it is today. I think it's one of those very important shows. You go back and be like, WrestleMania 1 was important, WrestleMania 2 was fucking shit, and WrestleMania 3 is like, holy shit. Hogan, Andre, Steamboat, and Savage, technical masterpiece. Yeah, no, that's a good answer.
I think that was like the crowd that they had too. I think that was the biggest crowd that they had. So I would want to be part of history too. So
I think it is still the biggest crowd they've had, legit. Because I know WrestleMania 2032, but you see the numbers have been highly exaggerated, so you just don't know what to believe. But I mean, just that one, that does look like it was like at least 85, 90,000 at least.
That's what I'm saying, because they've been looking like they missed like the recent SummerSlam, and they look like they packed that thing out to the brim.
Mate, this year SummerSlam was quality. I enjoy that, man. That was a really, really good show. Didn't expect it to be that good. It was like, holy shit, but let's just lift the ring with a fork.
Some pay-per-views here recently haven't really been that good to me. Because there's been certain pay-per-views I'm like, man, this is all right. But the SummerSlam here recently, I liked it.
Yeah, no, same. I've taken like a break for some shows like Rampage and Raw, and I'll tune in SmackDown for a lot of Roman Reigns, but in general, just finding the time for it now is so difficult. It's just so much out there. But what if? Is there anything you? Yeah, that's it, man. Is there anything that you want to promote? Anything you want to share as we are wrapping up this episode? Anything you want to address the listeners? Anything? The platform is yours, my man. You can say whatever you want.
Just want to say a big shout out to my man George for having me on here. And if y'all want to follow me, anything that y'all want to see where I'm going next, follow me. Literally everything on my social media is the same. It's Gifted IF. Follow me there. You'll see pictures of me. You'll see pictures of my kids. You'll see pictures of where I'm going to be wrestling next. So, I'm not hard to find.
No, I appreciate it, man. Thank you for coming on. And obviously, I know we've just been struggling to find the time. I know you're a busy man. I'm being busy as well. And I know we had to re-record this interview. Not all of it. So I don't, but you're obviously being good sport. We enjoy talking to you and getting to know you as well. I hope to see you here in the UK one day. Fingers crossed, my man. But as we are officially wrapping up this interview, I want to thank everyone for listening and doing what you can to support this channel. But if you can continue to share, blag, talk, whatever, spread the word, spread the love about What You Got It podcast. That will be much appreciated. As Isaiah Frazier, he knows he is kid of his finest. If he's telling you to like this podcast, you should like it. But everyone, have a good weekend and take care, everyone. Bye. Hello there. I've got a special announcement for my next guest. If you listen to the episode, it will make sense while I'm holding the croc.
Yes, sir. Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy Jay Bougie, the God figure, the Croc God, the King of New York, the one and only 1-4 for the takeover, man. I am here. Make sure I tune in, listen to What You Call a Podcast, man. Take witness. God bless.
Yeah, I heard.